Yo, welcome back to the channel, y'all, where I'm going to be showing y'all how to put your foot in all type of dishes. Today we're going to be making crab cake and shrimp egg rolls. These are always a hit, guaranteed. But before we do that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you have not already, as I'll be dropping weekly recipe videos that you won't want to miss. Alright, let's get started. The first thing I like to do is make the sauce. Now, I do this so that the sauce can kind of set for a while so the flavors can really start to come out when you're ready to use it. But all we're doing here is adding in some mayo, some sweet chili sauce, and then going with a little sriracha. If you made my bang bang shrimp recipe, you'll recognize this is a very similar sauce to that. And I mean, if it's fire, it's fire. Now you'll just want to give those a good mix and then set your sauce aside. This next step is completely optional, but I like it in my crab cakes, so I'm going to do it here. But I'm just going to add in some chopped onions, some green bell pepper, and some red bell pepper. All we're going to do here is just get our skillet hot and then add in some avocado oil or some olive oil, and then we're going to just kind of saute and stir our veggies until they're done. Once done, we're going to just set them aside. Alright, so now we're just going to go ahead and do our shrimp. Now, all I did here was just season up the shrimp. I didn't go too crazy with the seasoning here because they're going inside of the crab cake egg roll, which will have a lot of flavor in itself. But just season them lightly and then saute them on each side for about 2 minutes or so. You don't want to overcook them here because they're going to be cooking again inside of the egg roll when we fry them. So be careful here. You just want to get a nice color on there and cook them almost all the way. Dice up your shrimp into small pieces and set them aside. Now it's time to make the base for our crab cake mixture. So we're going to start off with some mayo, of course, and then we're just going to go in with some garlic powder and onion powder. Next, I'm going to go in with some freshly cracked black pepper. This automatic grinder is amazing. And then we're going to go in with some Old Bay seasoning, some W sauce, you know the one I'm talking about, the one that nobody can pronounce. And then we're going in with some hot sauce. After you've added your hot sauce, go ahead and add in some yellow mustard. And then I'm going to add in some parsley for a nice pop of color and a bit of freshness. Lastly, we're going to go in with our lemon juice. Now you're going to want to break out that whisk and give this a good mix. Now here's where you want to taste because we haven't added in our eggs yet. So go ahead and give your mixture a taste just to make sure everything is good and the flavors are as you want them, and then add in your eggs. Once you've added in your eggs, go ahead and give that a good mix as well, and then our base is pretty much done. Now go ahead and add in your crab. I had claw meat on hand, but I highly recommend you getting jumbo lump crab meat if your budget can afford that. But use what you got. This is what I had. And then I'm going to add in a couple of spoonfuls of the pepper and onion mixture, and then our shrimp. Now you can add in as much shrimp as you want, and then I'm just going to go in with our breadcrumbs to kind of bind the mixture all together. The key here is you want to fold the mixture. You don't want to mash or mix it too heavily. You just kind of want to fold it over on itself. This is to not mash up that nice crab meat that you paid so much money for. You want to see those lumps. Now it's time to start assembling our egg rolls. First thing you want to do is take your egg roll wrapper and lay it flat. And then I have a small bowl of water here, and what I'm going to do is just put some water on my finger and just kind of go around the edges, and this is how you actually seal the egg roll. So after I've done that, then I'm going to add in a ice cream scoop full of mixture, my crab cake mixture here, just to make sure I don't go overboard with it. This helps me kind of measure the amount that I'm putting in. And then I'm just going to fold each side in and then take the bottom and roll it up and tuck it under the meat. And then I'm going to add a little more water to the edges and then continue to roll it up. It's really that easy. It's not as hard as it looks. So now that that one's done, I'm going to go ahead and show you one more. Same process here. I'm going to dip my finger in the water and then just go around the edges. That way we make sure we get a good seal. This is basically acting like glue here for our egg rolls. Next, I'm going to use that same ice cream scooper again, and this just helps maintain an even amount of mixture in each. I found it easier to just use an ice cream scoop and scoop it out. So you don't have to do it this way, but it is easier if you have one on hand. And then I'm just going to fold in those corners, and then I'm going to take the bottom and roll that up and tuck it under the meat. I add a little bit of extra water here just to make sure the sides stick properly and seal, because you don't want any egg roll filling coming out while you're cooking. So just make sure they all have a good seal, and then you're done. With this amount of mixture, I was able to get about 11 or 12 pretty thick egg rolls, and I don't like small egg rolls. I like to eat, so that's the way I like them. So if you do small, you can get even more. Alright, so now we're going to get ready to fry them. All you want to do is add some oil to a pan. I like using peanut oil, and get that up to about 350 degrees, just so you know your oil is nice and hot. I use a thermometer to check, but you can also do the water droplet test. And then all you do is add in your egg rolls. Now you want to be sure not to overcrowd the pan, or it will drop your oil temperature too much and they're not going to fry properly. You'll have a soggy egg roll wrapper. But yeah, all you do is add them to the oil, let them fry. They're going to start turning golden brown as they cook. It only takes a few minutes here, and as they start changing colors, I kind of flip them over to make sure both sides are cooking evenly. Alright, so after a couple of minutes of cooking your egg rolls, you want to make sure you flip them and give them a mix around so that they're not sticking to the bottom. They shouldn't stick. They'll kind of start floating towards the top, and then you just want to cook them until they're light golden brown. You don't want to overcook them here, as they're going to darken a bit as they sit on the wire rack and dry. So once you see them start turning that light golden brown, go ahead and pull them off. Now, like I said earlier, I'm only doing about 5 here at a time. This is a 12-inch cast iron skillet, so you may be able to do more or less depending on the size of the pan you're frying them in, or you can just deep fry them if you have a deep fryer. That works perfect as well. There's also the option of air frying them, which works. So there's many ways to fry these egg rolls, but I'm doing it in my cast iron skillet because I love it, but you can do it however you choose. As you can see, after a couple of minutes of chilling on the wire rack to cool, these turn out perfectly golden brown. I can't wait to dig into these. I love crab cakes, so this handheld version is going to be even better, and the addition of the shrimp, I just know is going to set it off. And of course, before I end the video, I have to show you guys how they look on the inside. They are fire, packed with crab. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and finish it off with some of that sauce that we made earlier. Don't forget about that. I added it to a squeeze bottle. And I also had some crema on hand that I'm going to add here to kind of balance things out. Not necessary, but if you want that recipe, let me know in the comments below. Then I'm just going to add a pop of color here with some parsley and a little bit of extra Old Bay on top. And that's all, folks. Make sure you are actually subscribed to the channel if you have not already. It does help me out a lot. And when you guys make these, make sure you do tag me on social media. I love seeing you guys make these dishes and enjoying them. As always, thank you for watching. We will see you again next week.